Jennifer and Shawnee face off, and Tammy has to answer to her daughters. You're watching the Basketball Wives LA After Show.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Whoop, whoop, we're back. We're back for another week. Yes, drop that sound effect.
I love that.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yep.
I am your host or co-host. I'll say I am Breanna Chianne, and are you?
I'm Adaeze. Hi.
So you are tuned in to Basketball Wives LA Season 8, Episode 2.
Yes.
And I have to say that it seems like everybody's family is going through something today.
It's a big family therapy session that we got this episode. I can't wait to get through it.
Yeah. So what are your overall thoughts so far?
I think we're at the beginning of a breakthrough.
With who?
With everyone.
Okay.
I feel like everyone's at odds. And, we have a long season to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure this is not going to last very long. But it's nice that early on in the season, we're seeing some conversations being had, some long-awaited conversations.
Absolutely. And one conversation that is very long-awaited is the one with Cece and the rest of the Scott family. And Malaysia, being Malaysia, always wants to be the peacemaker. She brings London, Byron's daughter, and Cece and Kristen. And London had this personal issue with Cece because she worked as her personal assistant and all that. And I don't know. At first it was kind of rocky. But I guess towards the end there was some progress being made. What did you think about the whole sit down in the first place?
Well, like Cece, I didn't expect London to be there because we don't know London. This is her first time being introduced into the show.
Mm-hmm.
And she has her own set of issues that she's bringing into the situation. So I was a little bit nervous because it's like Kristen and Cece are finally going to come to a head and figure things out. But then now we're throwing in this extra factor.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sure how that was going to play out. And it's kind of interesting because Cece's going to be her stepmom and they look similar in age, you know? It's just an interesting dynamic. But it ended up ending semi-peacefully. I think they just, came to not a resolution, but maybe to a stalemate, I would say. Something calm. So.
Yeah. I think it definitely would have been better if Cece and London handled whatever issue they had first. Or at least Cece and Kristen handled their issue first, so it wasn't so much 2-on-1.
Yes.
I did feel a little bad for Cece but it seems like, I don't know, seeing London's side, it kind of gives me a different perspective because at first we were all kind of like, well, Kristen's the issue. But then seeing that somebody else in the family has a similar issue with Cece, it's kind of like, okay, maybe Cece is a little bit off.
Right. Like Cece said, she's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And, I feel like she's coming into a very tight-knit family. And a very protective family. Like, they're very protective over Byron, it seems.
Yes.
Because they even speak about her still like she's an outsider. Like, this is someone that we love. This is who he chooses to marry. As if, like, they're family. Like, Cece's your family, but they still treat her like she's just a newcomer. Like, she's going to be here, and she might not be here for a while. But they're getting married, so they're expecting Cece to be there for a while. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot more issues in that family that we can obviously see on television.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's so hard to draw conclusions when you don't get to be in the house seeing everyday interactions and stuff like that. I am kind of surprised a little bit that Malaysia isn't as biased as she's trying to be very unbiased Switzerland with this situation, and Malaysia is very protective when it comes on to her family. She does not play. So I am kind of surprised that she's not more team Kristen, but I guess it is her getting older and more mature. There's, like she said in the episode, wouldn't it be nice if there wasn't a team Kristen and team Cece? And, I would agree that would make an easier life for everybody.
Yeah, I think at this point, Malaysia sees both sides, and it's easy for her to see both sides because she's not married to any of them.
Right.
She's not in any marriage. She doesn't live with them. She doesn't really probably have to interact with them the way they have to interact with each other. You have grandparents and in-laws and all of this. It's a lot more complicated outside of Malaysia. And I think she probably, you would think she's Team Kristen, but I think she has a little bit of a soft spot for Cece, which allows her to be a little more fair. Mm-hmm. And she's friends and family with both of them. So it's better for her to stay directly in the middle so that she's not pulled to one side or the other, and then she could help them get back together.
I think we can both agree, though, that it was kind of messed up for Cece to tell Evelyn how Byron was feeling about Kristen, and for Evelyn to tell, because that is a harsh way to hear something like that that's so personal. Right. And like she said, Cece doesn't even mess with Evelyn like that.
Right. They did come to blows last season, mm-hmm. and at this point, it's like Cece feels, I can't talk to Kristen, right? And I can't talk. I'm sure at Malaysia, I'm talking Malaysia's head off about this stuff. Maybe she just felt like she could just vent to a neutral party. Mm-hmm. Not even really thinking that Evelyn might bring that bone back in not a positive way. And, Evelyn didn't really, twist it. She told it like it was. It just doesn't seem right coming from Evelyn.
Exactly. So, exactly.
That was bad on Cece's part, in my opinion.
Whew, we got heavy already.
Yeah.
And we're only in the first couple minutes. Right. So we're going to take a quick break from all this heaviness. And Miss Adaeze here has a special announcement to all of our viewers.
We just want to thank you again and again for tuning in with us and making AfterBuzz the ESPN of TV talk. If you're tuning in on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how you felt about the episode and what we're talking about up here. And if you're listening on iTunes, please give us 5 stars. We really appreciate you tuning in every week, and we hope to see you every single week.
All right. So, jumping right back into it.
Yes.
Miss Tammy Roman.
Oh, Tammy. She's so funny.
Tammy is very funny. Her daughters are just like her.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's so nice to see Tammy show her soft side. And literally the only way of seeing that is through her daughters.
Yeah.
And you kind of got to see her get emotional when she was talking to her daughters, because they are not too happy with their mom right now. No. After she ran off and eloped with Reggie. They had no idea.
Right.
And I was very surprised because Tammy is very close with her daughters. Right. What do you think about the whole situation?
That was a surprise to me that she eloped without her daughters. I feel like there's different ways to elope. I guess you can elope with a very tight-knit family and not let everyone else know, or you can just elope with just you and your husband, or husband and the wife. Mm-hmm. And I was very shocked. Like you said, they're a really tight-knit family. And we saw last season that Lyric had a little bit of an issue with Reggie, and they finally got over that. So wouldn't it have been nice for Tammy to include Lyric and, of course, Jazz into the wedding and, really, what's the word? Really consummate their love, consummate the wedding. So,
not with the girls, but
Yeah, but just having,
that union.
The union there and making it official, and having the whole family there and making it a good moment for everyone. But Tammy said she had her reasons. I don't think they were good reasons.
I don't think so either, because there wasn't really any clear understanding.
Yeah.
Because what'd she say? All she said was, you guys weren't around for me to talk to, or something.
But you're getting married. I think Lyric brought it up. You're getting married. This is, not any small thing. You're not going to Paris for 2 months or something. You're getting married. This is the beginning of a new part of your life. What could be a good reason for not including us?
And you made a really good point when you brought up Reggie and Lyric's past issues, because in this episode we saw Reggie take on more of the blame, and he said, don't be mad at her, it's my fault. And that's kind of a big deal, because I'm sure his relationship with Lyric isn't peaches and cream yet. And I'm sure that probably added a little bit more salt to the wound.
Right.
But it takes 2 people to elope.
Right.
And so it would be kind of wrong if they were squarely only mad at Reggie.
Yeah, I think he was just being a man and doing that for Tammy.
I think so too.
If it was, say it was my situation, it was my mother and her fiance, and he said that, I would just be like, this is Reggie being Reggie. Yeah. Of course, they know Reggie at this point, that he's going to do that for Tammy. But at the end of the day, those are Tammy's kids.
Exactly.
So not a single person could keep Tammy's kids out of their wedding but Tammy. Mm-hmm. So we know. But I just think he wanted to soften the blow, take it easy on mom. But, he just shows how much he's a sweet guy. He's really a nice guy.
Yeah,
I'm happy
his
for
intentions
Tammy.
were good. Me too. I'm very... Congratulations again to you.
Congratulations, Tammy. Yeah.
So I need to know, what would you do in that situation if your mom ran off and eloped, and then she came to you kind of emotional and sad and, apologetic in a way, what would it take for you to forgive her?
It will take nothing because me and my mom are so close, and I would also be really heartbroken. Like, I'm sure Lyric and Jazz have been going through this already with Tammy and, like, you know, of course, the recording. So I'm sure they had that moment where they were like, how could you? Mm-hmm. I would be heartbroken if it was my mom. But if she was just like, listen, this was my reason, and you and I were just not in a good place, and we just went and did it. Seeing my mom with puppy eyes, I wouldn't be mad much longer. I mean, what can you do? They're married at this point. All you have to do is moving forward. Like, Mom, let's be honest with each other. Let's be open with each other. If there's any issue, let's not spend too much time apart. You know, like making sure the future is better. I think that's what would happen with us. Yeah. How about you?
I don't know. My mom is literally my best friend. Yeah. And so it's really hard to even imagine my mom going out and doing something like that with even asking me what I think about it. Right. But I guess if I was in the situation, it would take, I would look at her a little different because I would be afraid of like, wow, you just like pushed me away. Like we were so close and now it just took a little influence from your fiance to say, you know, Breanna will be fine, and then you went ahead and did your thing. I don't know. I would be salty, but you only have one mom. Right. And a moment like that where she's really in love and you can see how happy she is and how good both of their intentions are, I think it's something that I could look past eventually.
Right, you can't stay mad for too long.
Yeah, but if I ever come home and I ask her, Mommy, can I have this? And she says no,
bring it back up.
What?
Remember when you didn't invite me to your wedding?
Thank you. Got a whole dress that I was going to be a bridesmaid and I didn't even get an invitation?
Right, let me hold $20.
Am I Kristen now? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So now that Tammy has things squared away with her daughters, Jennifer is she's not even trying to square anything away, but she finally is in a setting where she's with everybody, and Shawnee and Jackie, Evelyn, Kristen, they're all there.
Right.
And it gets very awkward very quickly. And I don't know what Jennifer thought was going to happen in this situation, but they called her out.
They did.
They did not hesitate. And I don't know, what if you were Jennifer in a position like that when you're basically walking into the lion's den, how would you present yourself? Would you come humble or would you come like ready for war?
I think Jen came in exactly how Jen always comes in. Head high.
Yeah.
It might be false, but head high, just ready to face it. She knows, like, there's no secret. She knows who she has an issue with and who she is kind of cool, and then she knows who's kind of playing in the middle. And it was kind of weird for me because she said that she wasn't going to come, and then she came.
Yeah.
But that's typical Jen, right? Coming at the very end of everything. So, I mean, I would come in just like how Jen came in, but she had to know, like, this was going to be it. And if you have, like, 4 people versus you have to come in with your vest on, your bulletproof vest, like, you know, ready for war. Because especially when you have someone like Evelyn on the other side, her alone is enough to cause you some grief. So now you have a mad Shawnee, a so-so Kristen, you know.
Kristen's kind of just like Switzerland, actually. She's the Switzerland in this situation.
I would call Kristen Switzerland but Switzerland doesn't go back and forth the way Kristen does. If Jackie's more Switzerland. She stays directly in the middle. Yeah. Kristen plays both sides sometimes. Like, you can't be having a little chit-chat with Jen and then letting her talk the crap about Shaq. And then now that it blows up with Shawnee and you're at the nail salon, you're like, how could you say that about Shaq and then come to her kid? Like, come on, Kristen.
I think Kristen was more frustrated, though, when they were at the nail salon because Jennifer straight up said, I'm not apologizing.
Right.
And I think that it showed the fact that she had no remorse for the way things played out. I think that's when Kristen was like, okay, look, you were dead wrong.
Yeah.
And at that time, Kristen was finally being a true friend because you can't be friends. You can't call someone a friend if you can't call them out on their stuff.
Right. And Jen has a really big issue with accountability.
Yes.
Huge. Even when she's being faced, now we're at the little crystal party, she's being faced by everyone, like, you said X, Y, and Z, and Jen still is denying what she said to Shawnee's, and I think that she said it. I mean, it was so specific, and the things that she said, and to say that you raised Shanice, which she did, you know, they were friends for a very long time, and to say how much you love that girl, she's old enough where you can call her and be like, I don't know what's going on. I spoke to your mother, but I want you to hear it from me that I would never say anything about that.
Right.
A guilty person acts a certain way, and she probably didn't even want to confront Shanice. So I believe that she said it, and she's still not holding herself accountable. And she should have right then and there apologized about what she said with Shaq. Right or wrong, there are kids involved, and I think it's because Jen is not a mother.
Yes.
That maybe she doesn't understand.
And I think that's a huge part of why she takes things as far as she does sometimes.
Right. Like, you don't understand how things affect children. Evelyn's child, now Shawnee's kids. Like, you don't really understand just by talking. It's not just gossip anymore when you involve the kids, you know? So I don't think she understands the gravity of how much she did.
And the thing is, what makes it worse is that she keeps on bringing up the passing of her mother, and her mother passed 3 years ago, and it's you can never grieve for too long.
Right.
You know, everyone grieves in their own way. Evelyn acknowledged that, especially when it's a parent.
Yes.
You're never prepared for that. And but at the same time, though, Evelyn hit it on the head. Like, your mother passed, so that gives you the right to be an asshole, and it's true.
Right.
As though you want to have sympathy for a person, the malice that Jennifer has and the things that she does and the way she acts, it's like, no, it's deeper than your mother's passing.
Right. For me, I'm on the fence about it because I don't want, again, Jen has an accountability issue. So I don't want Jen to use other things like her mother's passing to excuse her out of the things that she's done. But at the same time, like you said, there's no timing on grieving, and it does change people, and no one has a right to say how it's going to change you. So I would have accepted from Jen for her to say, listen, ever since my mom passed, and then, of course, after my divorce with Eric, you know, like, just make it a full thing. I have been different. And I have said X, Y, and Z. And I want to apologize. I wouldn't harp on, you know, the mother thing, because then where you're trying to invoke sympathy, you're pushing people away because no one knows Jen like Evelyn.
Exactly.
And that's why Evelyn wasn't having it. She's not trying to be insensitive because when Jen went through it, I'm sure Evelyn was right there with her.
I'm sure.
So if you can't BS Evelyn.
Right.
So, I mean, you bring up that you have a true issue. I really think that Jen is really suffering. I do. I think because so too. She's a different Jen than what we know from the beginning.
She was so passive before.
So you couldn't get Jen to raise her voice past a level 3.
She would just laugh.
Right. Or say nothing.
Yeah, or just say nothing. Evelyn would be the one, like, just going ham, and Jennifer would just be cooling. Like,
they were literally opposites of each other, and it worked.
And it worked perfectly.
And now Jen is like a whole, like, she's nasty.
Yeah.
So I think Jen really needs some real help. Not like the TV therapy that she did a little bit. I mean, some real help. And at least she's acknowledging that it changed her. I think that's a big step for Jen.
I think it's easy to say it and make an excuse, but until there's an action behind those words, it doesn't mean anything.
I agree.
Because I can sit up here all day. Because here's the thing. She also, in the previews for next episode, she mentions, I went through this divorce. My father, she doesn't have a good relationship with her father. All these things. And we've all been through some type of heartbreak. I personally don't have a relationship with my father. And I've taken steps to help myself get past that.
Right.
And so it's like nothing matters until you take the action to better yourself.
Right.
And Jennifer is too old to be behaving the way she is, like a mean girl.
Right. Especially when she had a public marriage herself, and I'm sure Eric wasn't the most faithful.
Absolutely
I just feel like it's really peculiar for the girls to go at each other about their baby daddies and their husbands, especially when they're all basketball wives or like sport related, when they've probably all been through the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I think that's so peculiar for Jen to be so outright disrespectful to someone else's baby daddy or husband or whomever, when we literally saw Eric disrespect her in the worst way on this show. It baffles me. But I think this is a good moment for Jen. I think Shani has a soft heart. Because Shani's so heart is mad at Jen. But just to see her break down, I don't think I want to be able to see anyone break down in front of me like that either. I'd still have my reserves, of course, but she's literally sitting on the floor alone. That broke my heart because it was genuine that she broke down. Yeah. I think now the problem's not over, but maybe Jen and Shani can have a real conversation, and Jen can just be like, I'm sorry. You may never trust me again, but if I say nothing else, I'm sorry. That's what I need from Jen.
I think it's important to have that conversation as well. I think it's also important for Shawnee to set very clear boundaries when it comes on to Jennifer. Like, we're not going to kiki, you're not going to pop up for my birthday, we're not doing all that stuff we used to do, but we can be cordial, you know, until you make changes within yourself and show me that it's worth it.
Right.
How did you feel about Evelyn's comment when she talked about Jennifer's mom, how she would be rolling in her grave if to hear Jennifer speaking of her passing like that?
That was a really low blow.
You think so?
Listen, like, Evelyn, we know Evelyn, so we know she has a sharp tongue, and I get it. They were really best friends, and now they're ex-friends, so it might look like you're not crossing any boundaries because that's like your enemy, but there is a boundary that you cannot cross. And the innocent party here is Jen's mom. Jen's mom. So she shouldn't have even brought that up. I get what she was trying to say. Stop using your late mother as an excuse. You're disrespecting her. Keep it right there.
You got to remember you got to remember Evelyn's from New York. Bronx. Okay, like this some East Coast stuff. Like I'm from the East Coast. You're from the East Coast,
so I know it.
So you know
York, so
when we start, it's off.
That's it. But it's still like that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, you know, I know Evelyn, but again, I wouldn't. In New York, if that's fighting words too.
That is those are fighting words.
On camera, if Jen was like about that life, it probably would have been a different story, you know? So it's like, I just feel like that was a low blow for Evelyn.
Yeah, the fact that you said it's fighting words is true, because if the roles were reversed, I could see Evelyn ready to fight Jennifer. She said that. However, I do see the meaning behind the comment that she said. And I know it wasn't to be malicious. And I know it was in the heat of the moment. I don't consider it a low blow, because I think Evelyn was like, I want you to get it. Yeah. Like, it was like she was verbally trying to shake Jennifer, like, stop it. Like, trying to say whatever she could to make her understand how low her excuses were.
Yeah, but it's just the way you say it. Like, you could have done it two ways. Like, Jen, I need you to stop bringing up your mother, because at this point, the way you're acting and you're blaming it on your mother is disrespectful. Like, she's probably rolling in her grave right now. And Jen...
Okay, it's the anger then. It's the tone.
You can hear Evelyn's tone. Jen, you bringing up your mother, that's no excuse for you to be an asshole. Your mother's probably rolling in her grave right now. You see how that's different? So
it's the tone. Yeah, okay.
It was bad.
I see.
Yeah.
But it's hard to control it when you're angry, though.
True. Yeah, so it looks like Jen got upset, like made Jen upset.
It broke her.
It broke her. It would have hurt me too, especially coming from someone like Evelyn, like who knew what she was going through.
So speaking of Miss Evelyn Lozada,
yes,
we have some news and gossip, some juicy news and gossip.
AfterBuzz.
My favorite noise. So hit him with the news and gossip, girl.
So before we get to Miss Evelyn, Miss Conversation Piece, who is not here today, she ran into Tammy Roman on the BET blue carpet this weekend, and this is what Tammy had to say.
I'm going to be in and out in 5 minutes or less. I will not be a part of any drama or this shenanigans that they got going on if I don't have to. So you may see me, you may not see me, or you'll see me and blink and you miss me.
Yes, that's the truth.
Tammy is so funny, and like that was very on brand for Tammy. Look how quick that interview was.
Yes.
She was in and out, just like she said.
Just like those cameos on the show, in and out. Yep.
And I think that's really important. You know, we got like maybe 10 seconds of that, but that was really important because Tammy is a really big staple in this brand, Basketball Wives, and for her to pull herself back the way she has, that's big. We might not see her next season.
Maybe, but she has her own show.
She does, so she's moving on and out.
Yeah.
Okay. And for our next segment of news and gossip, we caught up with Evelyn's interview with the Breakfast Club on Power 105.1, where she got confronted about her comment about Big D Rob Kardashian.
Big D Rob.
And apparently, that sparked some rumors that maybe her and Rob have had a thing or are having a thing. And Evelyn cleared it up, saying that her and Rob are just friends. It's kind of like an ongoing joke between them. But she does wish Rob the best. And it seems like he's in the gym and he's looking good, feeling good, and she acknowledged that he's a good-looking guy. I think Rob is a good-looking guy.
She actually, like you said, she encouraged the whole gym thing. And Didn't she say that she would give him a shot maybe in another life because like age ain't nothing but a number?
Right. You know Evelyn.
Yeah.
You know, if it works out for Evelyn, she'll go
that
for
would be
it.
That would be a win for Rob.
Yes.
A huge win.
But I think that was a little cool joke between Evelyn and Rob.
Yeah.
I don't think she's seen it, but maybe that. I don't know. No comment on the big D Rob Kardashian.
Big D Robbie.
And speaking of Evelyn's love life, Page Six, she had an interview with Page Six about Chad Ochocinco. And, you know, that was a really interesting interview because she said that she has no malice or any hate in her heart for Chad.
Wow.
And it was nice to hear that and see that because we saw going through the show, maybe every season, she would break down just a little bit talking about Chad because the domestic violence issue that they had, right? It still affected her. She had like a little charity event about it and everything. To say that, you know, if they saw each other in passing, that it would be love. Yeah, that's really good because it's good to see women who have gone through something like that overcome it. And she said that she left Chad. I'm sure she really loved Chad. Yeah, and she left Chad to be an example for her daughter, to let her know that no matter what, it's unforgivable. Even if it's forgivable, you can't stay. Yeah. And I think that's a really good example for her grown daughter. So
that's amazing.
Congratulations to you, Evelyn. Yes. I think you've made strides, and we're really proud of you.
Definitely. And it's amazing also that you are continuing a relationship with Chad's daughter. That's phenomenal. Yes. So kudos to you, girl. You are definitely...
We love you.
A woman to watch out for. Thank you very much for the news and gossip, Miss Adaeze.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'll do it again, I promise.
Oh, okay, you got to. So moving on, we have a fun little thing. Our game from last week, we're going to bring it back.
Yes.
And it's Invasion of the Closet Snatchers.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you introduce what we got going on this week.
All right, for this week's Invasion of the Closet Snatchers, we have Shani versus Jen. Now, we look at Shani's look. Shani has, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm trying to put this in the right way. She has a very...
You cannot describe someone's outfit and first say, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Scratch that. Because what I was going to say is she has a very grown mom look. Now, when you say a mom look, you know what that entails. Like, very...
Mom jeans is what I think.
Oh. Shani has a very classic grown woman look, usually. She's usually covered up. Everything looks, tailored and fit. And she looks like she can do multiple events. Like, she can go out for a nice dinner and still hit the night out to an event.
Definitely.
And then, I don't know, show up at a game for Sharif. She does. I really like, that's what I'm trying to say. I really like her grown woman fashion. And then we have Jen on the other side. And Jen... I'm just going to come out and say that she's my favorite. I love her fashion. Yeah. She always has a fresh look. She always looks from head to toe. She always looks polished. And again, for a grown woman, she has a different grown woman style for me. She still keeps it a little youthful, but, she still dresses her age. So who would you pick?
Well, I'm a sucker for shoulder pads, but that I don't want to choose just based off this one image. But I don't know. This is kind of hard because I kind of consider myself a minimalist with really nice pieces that put together nicely that I can wear anywhere. And I feel like that's Shani's already. So I want to switch it up and say I would snatch Jennifer's closet. Because Jennifer is really big on labels. Everything is designer. Yes. And who doesn't want a couple designer pieces here and there in their closet? Yes. So, like, this outfit alone, it's simple, but then with the fedora and the yarn coat, I love it. Yeah. I would take Jennifer's closet.
And, I'm not really a fan of this coat.
Really?
I went off of Jen's normal, everyday style. Every season, from head to toe, Jen's hair is always laid. Jen's outfit's always nice. True. Jen had the beautiful shoe closet. So I was trying to go off of that. If I had to pick, Shani style is 100% my style. I'm kind of like you. I love a one piece, less pieces the better. Yeah. All together, put together outfit, super classic. So if we were going off these two pictures, Shani, but in general, Jen's closet is probably the best for me for the whole cast.
Okay. Definitely can agree. Side note, can we please acknowledge Jennifer's new assets to the show?
In her confessional.
Whoa. We literally looked at each other at the same time, and I was like, those are new.
Those are new.
Boobs were huge.
And they look good.
they look good, but dang, Jennifer.
Yeah, I feel, and we don't really know about Jen outside of Basketball Wives, but maybe she's dating and she wanted to refresh her look and get sexier because, I haven't even seen Jen in a cutout like that when she had her old boobs.
Yeah, me either. She would have something like maybe a V-neck, but everything out. So it's either she had a poppin' bra, the dress complimented her, or she got some work done.
Those look new. They don't even look like they were set. They were full.
They look fresh.
They look
like
fresh
picked out the farmer's market.
Ago.
Yeah.
So, but good for Jen. I think they look good.
Yeah, they look good, Jennifer. Yeah. Don't worry. They look amazing.
You look good.
Yeah, you look good. Everything is looking good.
Yes, everyone looks good this season.
Yes. So let's get into some predictions. I want to get into some predictions.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Let's get the vibe right. Okay. Are you ready to announce your predictions?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I predict that they're going to chill on Jen for now.
Okay.
They still have to hash out, like I said, the accountability. They have to hash it out and what she said, and I want a full apology from her.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're going to chill on Jennifer, and then there's going to be some new conflicts that are going to arise.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't chill on Jennifer, but that puts Jennifer on the back burner. So I feel like right now the tensions with Jen versus everybody is just going to take a backseat for now.
Yeah. I can see that. I feel like Jennifer's moment tonight was like a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Mm-hmm. So it's a temporary thing. But it will get brought up again because it's only episode 2.
Right.
I predict that Evelyn's new friend, let me see, because I don't want to get it wrong. Phoebe Torres is going to be something to play with.
I'm glad you brought her up, though, because we forgot that we introed a new character into this.
Yeah, but I was saving that for the predictions because she didn't get too much airtime, so there's really so much you can say.
Right.
But just the fact, 1, she's from Brooklyn, and 2, anybody that Evelyn Lozada describes as a Spitfire is a Spitfire and then some.
She's like an Evelyn Jr. to me.
Yeah,
I can see
and
it.
but I don't want that look for her though. I don't want people to think of her like as a minion. But I see her personality already, and she's not a follower. Yeah. I can see her having an issue with Jennifer because Evelyn still hasn't resolved her issue with Jennifer.
Right.
So I can see that blowing up too.
Yeah, I see that for Phoebe too. Like, I don't think I'll establish her like as when I see Evelyn Jr., I just know Evelyn is like aside from Jen, because Jen and Evelyn were like opposites, but I can see people who hang out with Evelyn, especially people from New York. Yeah, they're gonna have similarities, you know, and you can already see it in her. Even during the crystal party, you can see on her face that like if she was involved, what she would say. But I'm glad she said absolutely nothing. Yeah, that just shows her maturity. Like, normally friends would jump in for friends, you know, and I'm sure she knows Jen's story through Evelyn, but she just said nothing. So we'll see what happens with Miss Phoebe later on. I think she's gonna pop off. I just don't know on who. Maybe OG. Oh, OG needs it. OG needs it. I saw in the previews that her and Kristen are a long time coming. Yeah. And I'm excited for it because I don't like either of them. So it's like they're not my favorite characters on this show. So I don't know how that's gonna come together, but OG, she is a very low, like she's a low problem starter. Like, you don't think about her first when you think about all the issues on this show. Yeah. But she has been in her own share of drama. Because she puts herself in it, though. Making comments, you know, when she's not involved whatsoever. So I think it's coming for her. Yeah, especially that messy moment when Malaysia was on FaceTime with Tammy. First of all, I didn't even know OG and Tammy were close like that to hang out together. But it just shows, like, OG literally went out of her way to say, well, I'm not the one to say this and that or start this. And you know what you're doing when you put that energy out there, especially to Malaysia when it comes onto her family. Right. So OG is just a whole no. OG can be canceled for me. Yeah, and I'm glad it didn't really go anywhere. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I thought it was going to go somewhere, but it didn't. Malaysia was just like, we have enough. So. Yes, I love it. Yeah. Well, I haven't had enough. And I can't wait for next week because this is the wrap up of our show. Yes. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I am Breanna Chianne. You can follow me on Instagram at IamB_Chianne, CHIANNE. And where can they follow you? I'm Adaeze again, and you can find me on Instagram at @1 Adaeze. That's one Adaeze.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again, everybody, for watching. And please tune in next week for another episode of Basketball Wives LA After Show on AfterBuzz TV.
And Miss Conversation Piece will be back.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.